IVM.
There is the truth, and then there is your version of the truth. And therein lies the entire problem. Yes, all of it. Every single aspect. Hi, I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach, and this is Say No to Drama. Now, why is your version of the truth so problematic? Because a lot of times it's convenient. It's based on your beliefs, and many of your beliefs can be faulty. Many of all our beliefs are faulty. Many of our beliefs and things that we know to be right or wrong come from a space of struggling to fit in and what has been dictated to us as right and wrong. So your version of the truth is not entirely true. There is that version, then there is somebody else's version, and then there'll possibly be my version. And then if you just write down the facts devoid of any emotion, you'll get a sense of reality. And that is why it's very important that you listen to all that I have to say today. Think about the way you interpret whatever is happening in your life. Think long and hard. When somebody treats you a certain way, how much does judgment influence your narrative? By judgment, I mean you feeling judged, your own insecurities about not being good enough, what you think about this person who is involved, what, according to you, this person who is involved thinks about you. What is the state of this equation that you all share? All of these things will influence how you interpret a particular situation and incident. And this isn't about right or wrong. I mean, we're human and we all do this. But this episode is about realigning the stories that you are telling yourself, which means it is about realigning your interpretation of things that happen in your life and how people behave towards you and around you. Be very, very careful of the narratives that you write. If you are constantly comparing yourself to other people, then the narrative in your head is that you aren't good enough and your life isn't good enough. But in reality, maybe just one aspect of your life is not good enough. Maybe your career isn't where you wanted it to be, or it's not turning out how you'd like it to. But that does not mean that your entire life is ruined and everything is bad. I know you've heard me tell you in many different episodes about the words that you use. Don't generalize. I'm never happy. Nothing ever works out. These are exaggerations. And that is why this is your version of the truth, but not really the truth. Because in life, a lot of things work out for you. But sure, some of the main things that you want or that you are so focused on right now may not be working out. And so it feels like nothing ever works out. The narratives that you tell yourself trigger your emotions and your thoughts, and hence your reactions and then your choices. I mean, it's like a snowball. Don't jump to conclusions. That's one of the oldest, most repeated cliches that you may have heard or you may have been told. Don't be impulsive in making decisions. Don't be too quick to judge somebody. These are all old cliches. But they're all there for a reason. And the reason is that you are writing false stories in your head. What you think has happened may be very different from what has actually happened. And this is a very common thing that I see with teenagers and even with adults. But with grown-ups, it's about that area of their life that they have made into the center of their life. So with teenagers, anything that happens in their life can be, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. You know, I remember with a teen client of mine where she said that everyone is irritating me. And I looked at her and said, is it everyone or is it one person? And she smiled sheepishly and said, yeah, it's just one person. I have another teen client, according to whom Her father does not understand her at all. And yet, her father is the one who has pulled her out of a lot of trouble many times over. So she does paint him out to be the villain, but in the same breath, she also accepts that he's not really all that bad. So exaggerations are one way of creating faulty narratives. Stop doing it because it's not helping you. With grown-ups, on the other hand, when it comes to somebody who's made their career the center of their lives, their entire identity is from the job that they do, whether they're an entrepreneur or whether it's a 9 to 5 story, right? And one presentation going bad means, oh my God, they failed and they'll never succeed and life is so difficult and they're not appreciated at work and they're only criticized and all hell breaks loose. That's why we keep saying one bad moment is not equal to a bad life. And then there are those people who've made their relationship or the marriage the center of their lives. And for them, one fight means everything is horrible. Life itself is not worth it anymore. And they are not loved. They'll never be loved. They'll always be alone. Oh my God. These are all examples of faulty narratives. However, these are some of the most common ones. A lot of us are building faulty narratives. The story in our head about certain people and certain specific situations or aspects of our life is completely skewed. Think about what is going on in your life, whether it's your relationship with your parents, whether it is how your life is panning out in your 30s, whether it is about a partner, an ex, a friend, whether it is your role in people's lives. You know, another set of people whose narratives are completely skewed are those who call themselves empaths. The truth is far from it. The reason why they struggle and they get affected by everybody is because they allow it. They have no boundaries. And they attract only takers, only those people who want to just dump things on them. So the narrative in their head is faulty. And their entire identity is built on a faulty narrative. And then that leads to them attracting or reaching out to the kind of people who will only take advantage and only affect them in a bad way. One of the questions that I get asked all the time is how come I don't get affected by the sessions that I do and by what is happening in my clients' lives? And let me tell you this, I deal with some very, very traumatic incidents. I have clients who are in very dark spaces, whether it's something like a divorce or even addiction, relationship issues, or having lost all their money in business, having lost a loved one, trying to find love, anxiety and panic attacks, rising up from a nervous breakdown, so many different things. But how does it not affect me? Simply because I have boundaries and simply because the narrative in my head is aligned and factual. One basic fact, one basic truth. Everybody has their own life, and what is happening in somebody else's life is not a reflection of what is happening in my life. Just because somebody is going through a bad relationship does not mean that mine is going to be like that, right? Because somebody is going through a divorce does not mean that another person who is in a tough space in their relationship needs to also choose a divorce. Be careful about the stories that you tell yourself. Be careful about how you are narrating an incident, how you are interpreting it, how you are talking about anything and everything that is happening in your life. Your reality must be aligned to the story in your head. If it is not, then you will end up making bad choices and you will end up reacting and responding in an unhealthy manner. And with that, I'm going to head out of here. But there are many episodes on the truth and on words that you should not use and on interpreting incidents the correct way and not misjudging people. All you have to do is scroll down on the Say No to Drama episode list on the IVM Podcast app and website. Also, if you would like to book a session with me to realign your narratives, then DM me on Instagram. My handle is Positivity Angel.
there's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcasts Network. On the Filter Coffee podcast, Karthik talks to Svetlana Naudial, Programming Director Asia Movie, about how movie curates access to world cinema. Introducing our new show, Capgemini's Techipedia series with Sheeladitya M. In the first episode, we meet Nishit Srivastav, Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at Capgemini India. He tells us all about the metaverse's impact on different domains. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam explores stock market trends with Prabhakar Tiwari, Chief Growth Officer at Angel One. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk discuss how the latest events in Sri Lanka impact India. On The Habit Coach, Ashton shares 3 steps to shake off a slump. And on Say No to Drama, Chetna explains how we can protect ourselves from energy suckers. We've got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcasts has just launched its merch and our first line is out now. Head to the IVM Podcasts website and click on the shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. You can also check us out on YouTube. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate if you could spare a few minutes to fill it. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, SBI Life Insurance and Jupiter, a digital banking app.